Once upon a time, in the midst of a vast and boundless sea, a ship met with a tragic fate. It was destroyed in a storm, and all the passengers perished in the icy waters, save for one man. By an extraordinary stroke of luck, or perhaps by the grace of a higher power, this lone survivor managed to make it to the shore of a desolate island. As he regained consciousness, the man found himself on an isolated and barren island, far removed from civilization. He was alone, and the reality of his situation soon sank in. Desperation set in, and he began to pray fervently to God. "Oh God," he pleaded, "please help me. Please send me some assistance." Days turned into weeks, and despite his heartfelt prayers, no help arrived. He spent his nights sleeping on the cold, sandy beach, and each morning, he would repeat his pleas to the heavens, only to be met with silence. As time wore on, the man's initial hope began to fade. He resigned himself to the harsh reality of island life, accepting it as his new fate. He gathered wood and grass, and with what he salvaged from the wreckage of the ship, he constructed a makeshift hut to shield himself from the elements. His survival depended on the island's limited resources. Coconuts and fish became his staple diet. Despite the challenges he managed to endure, each day blending into the next in a monotonous routine. One fateful day, as he tended a fire he had built, disaster struck. The flames from the fire spread uncontrollably and engulfed his humble hut. The man watched in dismay as his only shelter was reduced to ashes. Overwhelmed by anger and despair, he looked up to the sky and berated God. "Oh God," he shouted, "I asked you for help, and yet you've taken away my shelter too. How could you be so cruel?" His frustration knew no bounds, and he continued to vent his grievances until exhaustion overtook him. That night, he fell asleep on the cold beach, the remnants of his burnt hut smoldering in the distance. The following morning, he was jolted awake by a loud noise. As he opened his eyes, he could hardly believe what he saw. A ship had arrived at the shore. His heart leaped with joy, and relief help had finally come. He hurriedly boarded the ship, his spirits soaring with each step. Once aboard, he sought out the captain and inquired, "How did you know I was stranded here?" The captain responded with a smile, "We saw a signal fire from the island. It was a clear indication that someone was in need of rescue, so we came to investigate." The man was taken aback and replied, "But I didn't send any signal fire." The captain then explained, "The signal we saw was a fire on the island. It led us to you." It was then that the man recalled the burning hut, the very fire he had cursed just days before. The realization dawned on him that the destruction of his shelter had, in fact, been the catalyst for his rescue. What he had seen as a setback was actually part of a larger plan. He understood that what he had perceived as misfortune was a necessary step in guiding him towards salvation. This revelation led him to a profound understanding. Sometimes, our plans and desires are limited by our own perceptions. We may not always grasp the grand scheme or the greater purpose behind the events in our lives. Just as the man's burning hut had unwittingly served as a beacon for his rescue, our challenges and setbacks may be orchestrated in ways we cannot initially comprehend. This revelation led him to a profound understanding. Sometimes, our plans and desires are limited by our own perceptions. We may not always grasp the grand scheme or the greater purpose behind the events in our lives. Just as the man's burning hut had unwittingly served as a beacon for his rescue, our challenges and setbacks may be orchestrated in ways we cannot initially comprehend. In our lives, we often make detailed plans and set specific goals. When things don't unfold as we envisioned, it's easy to feel disheartened and lose faith. Trouble and adversity can shake our confidence, and we may find ourselves questioning why things aren't going our way. During such times, it's important to remember that there is often a purpose beyond our understanding. Our faith can waver, patience can wear thin, and hope can seem distant, but it is crucial to maintain trust in a higher power. We are part of a vast, interconnected world, and each of us has a unique purpose. God, or the universe, may have a plan for us that exceeds our immediate understanding. Our efforts combined with divine guidance can help us overcome obstacles that seem insurmountable. When faced with difficulties and apparent failures, it's helpful to remember that setbacks might be setting the stage for something greater. The man on the island learned that his trials were part of a larger design, a design that ultimately led to his rescue and deliverance. Similarly, when things don't go as planned in our own lives, it's worth considering that there may be a bigger plan at play, one that is more magnificent and benevolent than our own. In conclusion, whenever you feel that your plans are crumbling and nothing seems to go your way, remember that there might be a greater plan unfolding behind the scenes. Trust that this plan is not only different from what you envisioned, but also more grand, bold, and better suited to your ultimate good. Embrace the faith that, with persistence and trust, the combination of your efforts and divine guidance can lead you to success and fulfillment. Always keep in mind that, in the grand tapestry of life, what may seem like a setback could actually be the stepping stone to your greatest breakthrough. Thank you for watching this motivational story. May your life be filled with endless laughter and boundless joy. Stay blessed and keep smiling. If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.